Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Have you ever just stopped to look around at the sheer, incredible diversity of life on Earth? I mean, from towering redwood trees to microscopic bacteria, right down to your very own beating heart. It all seems impossibly complex, doesn't it? But what if I told you that all of this mind-boggling diversity comes down to one absolute master builder of life? That builder is the carbon atom. Today, we're going to explore this carbon architecture. We'll see exactly how life constructs its magnificent structures, literally from the atomic level all the way up to the real world.
Okay, let's dive into this and look at our roadmap. First up, we'll cover the backbone of life. Then, hydrocarbons, chains and rings. Third, we'll look at isomers, same parts, different shapes. And finally, we'll wrap up with functional groups, which are basically chemical accessories.
So Section 1, the backbone of life, which is truly the foundation of biology.
Now, you might be wondering, how exactly are massive, complex, diverse life forms actually built at the microscopic level? How do we go from invisible, tiny atoms to a living, breathing organism? Well, the answer lies in macromolecules. And these are exactly what they sound like: massive, complex, organic molecules. We're talking about the proteins that build your muscles, the nucleic acids, like DNA, that store your genetic code, the carbohydrates giving you energy, and the lipids making up your cell membranes. But here's the real secret. The fundamental component holding every single one of these massive structures together is carbon. Carbon is the essential, super versatile backbone of life. Literally, without it, none of these macromolecules could even exist.
So why is carbon so special? Well, it all comes down to the number 4. Let's really lean into that master builder analogy for a second. Imagine carbon as the ultimate Lego block. Carbon has an atomic number of 6, meaning it has 6 electrons total. 2 of those sit in the inner shell, leaving exactly 4 electrons in its outermost shell. Now, in chemistry, atoms really just want to be stable, right? And to achieve that, they want a full outer shell of 8 electrons, which we call the octet rule. Because carbon has exactly 4 of these valence electrons, it acts like a building block with 4 distinct connection points. It can snap together with other atoms in up to 4 different ways simultaneously, just to satisfy that octet rule. That incredible bonding capacity, that's exactly what makes it the perfect architectural foundation.
Moving right along to Section 2, hydrocarbons, chains, and rings.
Think for a second about what fuels your daily life. You might immediately think of the propane in your backyard gas grill, or maybe the butane in a pocket lighter. Well, those are hydrocarbons. They're organic molecules made entirely of, you guessed it, carbon and hydrogen. The simplest one is methane, which is just one carbon atom bonded to 4 hydrogen atoms. But, and this is crucial, it doesn't just form a flat cross shape. The shape of a molecule's electron orbitals dictates its three-dimensional geometry. Because those 4 bonds naturally repel each other, they spread out in 3D space, forming a tetrahedron. Every single hydrogen atom is spaced exactly 109.5 degrees apart. I really want you to keep this in mind because it establishes our recurring motif for this whole explainer. Form dictates function. The 3D shape of a molecule dictates exactly how it behaves in the real world.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the bonds themselves act as structural hinges or locks. When carbon atoms link together to form chains, the type of covalent bond completely locks or frees the physical shape of that chain. If they share a single bond, which gets the suffix -ane, like in ethane, the atoms can physically spin and rotate around that bond axis. It's totally flexible. But if they form a double bond, an -ene, like ethene, that structure is locked flat into a planar configuration. It absolutely cannot rotate. And a triple bond, an -ine, forces the atoms into a strict, rigid, straight line. So simply by changing the bond type, nature is engineering molecules that are either flexible, locked flat, or rigidly straight. It's amazing. But carbon doesn't just build straight chains either. It can actually wrap around and bite its own tail to form rings. We classify hydrocarbons into 2 main types here. Aliphatic hydrocarbons are those linear chains we just talked about. Aromatic hydrocarbons, on the other hand, consist of closed rings of carbon atoms, usually with alternating double bonds. Benzene is your classic aromatic ring. And what's wild is that the benzene ring is a major component of toxic crude oil, but your body also uses these exact same aromatic ring structures to build vital biological hormones like estrogen and testosterone. And of course, nature loves to mix and match. Take beta-carotene, the pigment that makes carrots orange. It's actually a hybrid containing both linear chains and closed rings.
That brings us to Section 3, isomers. Same parts, different shapes.
I want you to consider a bit of a puzzle. How can two molecules with the exact same chemical formula, literally the exact same number of carbon and hydrogen atoms, behave entirely differently in the real world? Well, the answer is isomers. Isomers are molecules that share the same chemical formula but differ in how their atoms are arranged. Nature is basically taking the exact same box of atomic Lego pieces and building three completely different types of structures to create totally new functions. Let's briefly walk through these three types: structural isomers, geometric isomers, and enantiomers.
Step 1. Structural isomers. Both butane and isobutane have the exact same formula, 4 carbons, 10 hydrogens, C4H10. But structurally, they are wired completely differently. Butane is a straight chain, and we use it as a highly flammable fuel in cigarette lighters. Isobutane takes one of those carbons and branches it off the middle, completely changing its chemical properties. That simple structural rearrangement turns a flammable lighter fluid into a cooling refrigerant and a spray can propellant. No way, right? By just moving one covalent bond, the molecule's entire real-world application shifts.
Step 2. Geometric isomers. Have you ever wondered why olive oil is liquid at room temperature, but a stick of butter is completely solid? It all comes down to geometric isomers. When you have a double bond in a carbon chain, the surrounding atoms can be arranged in two ways. If the carbons are on the same side of the double bond, it's a cis configuration. This creates a physical bend, or kink, in the molecule's backbone. Because of that bend, these molecules can't pack tightly together, so they stay fluid and liquid. That's your unsaturated fats in vegetable oil. But if the carbons are on opposite sides, it's a trans configuration. The backbone remains totally straight and linear. Because they're straight, they pack super tightly together and form a solid at room temp. This microscopic geometric difference is exactly what separates healthy cooking oils from the artificial trans fats that end up clogging our arteries.
Step 3. Enantiomers. These are molecules that share the same structure and bonds, but they are non-superimposable mirror images of each other. Think about your hands. Hold them up in front of you. Your left hand and right hand have the same parts, 4 fingers, 1 thumb, and they're mirror images. But you can't stack them perfectly on top of each other facing the same way. That is exactly how enantiomers work in chemistry. And here's a truly fascinating fact. Nature absolutely plays favorites here. Even though both left-handed or L-form and right-handed or D-form molecules exist, life uses the L-form of amino acids exclusively to build proteins, while the D-form of glucose is exclusively made during photosynthesis. Biology is literally left-handed when it comes to proteins.
Let's move to and see how this builds into our final topic, Section 4, Functional Groups, Chemical Accessories.
If carbon chains and rings are like the basic chassis of a car, functional groups are the customized accessories you attach to change exactly how it drives. Functional groups are specific clusters of atoms that attach along the carbon backbone, and they confer incredibly specific chemical properties. We have modular accessories like hydroxyl, carbonyl, amino, and sulfhydryl groups. Swapping these onto a carbon backbone completely dictates how the molecule behaves, especially when it comes to water. For instance, if you snap on a nonpolar methyl group, the molecule becomes hydrophobic. It hates water and repels it. But if you snap on a carboxyl group, which actually ionizes to release hydrogen ions, the molecule becomes hydrophilic and loves water. And we definitely can't forget the phosphate group, which is a highly charged accessory that serves as an absolutely crucial building block for your DNA.
And this brilliantly illustrates our final core concept. Hydrogen bonds between functional groups are involved in various recognition processes, such as DNA complementary base pairing and the binding of an enzyme to its substrate. See, these functional groups, they don't just sit there looking pretty. Because of their specific charges, they reach out and form delicate little hydrogen bonds with other functional groups. These tiny electrical handshakes between functional groups are precisely what zip together the magnificent double helix structure of our DNA. It's what allows the literal code of life to be copied, read, and passed down to the next generation.
So, as we wrap up today, I want to leave you with this question to ponder. How does a simple microscopic change, like a carbon double bond shifting from a bent cis to a linear trans shape, entirely dictate your body's cardiovascular health? It's pretty incredible to think about, isn't it? Every meal you eat, every breath you take, your very genetic code, all of it, relies on the precise 3D geometry of carbon atoms. The tiniest shift in this microscopic carbon architecture truly does transform our real-world biology. Keep marveling at the machinery of life, keep asking those big questions, and thank you so much for joining me today to explore the master builder of our world.